Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. When tangy Southern-style sauce and slaw meet a bacon cheese Whataburger, you get the Southern Bacon Double Burger. 2 patties, bacon, cheese, pickles, onions, and slaw on a 5-inch bun. Back for a limited time at participating locations.
It's the end of September, and it's already week number 6 of this high school football season. Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans, and this is Friday Night Stars. I always dreaded the first 6 weeks period, the end of the first 6 weeks, because the first test of the new school year. We got some tests out there this week, but we also got some teams having their byes about halfway through the season. Good time to take that bye week, but we got some good matchups this week.
No doubt about it. I think the better slate is probably week 7, but I was just looking up and down our list of games that we've got highlighted, and it's starting to look like rivalry season. You're getting some really tough, really tight district matchups, some that are going to really decide what the playoff situation looks like later in the year.
Yeah, even though it feels like summer outside, fall has fallen. And how about we get things started with our Whataburger Game of the Week? And I love this matchup. It is the Lewisville Fighting Farmers taking on the Coppell Cowboys, the unbeaten Coppell Cowboys in District 6-6A.
Yeah, have you looked at the D1 talent, the Division I committed talent in this matchup between Lewisville and Coppell? 2 teams, of course, that are very familiar with each other, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 D1 commits, and that's not even counting the other players that have some different profiles, the recruiting profiles, the interest from those schools. That's 7 commits going to the D1 level. This is going to be a high-flying matchup.
All right, and let's hear what the Fighting Farmers and the Cowboys have to say about this matchup.
We know what Lewisville's going to bring. They're going to be a good football team every year, year in and year out. So I think it's our job to go up and match their intensity and try to find a way to come out with a win.
It's a 4-quarter, knockdown dragout. It's there's no doubt about it. They know that we were more physical than them last year, and I know that Coach Wiley, I know he's put physicality at the top of his list, and they're going to bring their best shot.
I would say we have to be very physical. Just like Highland Park, this is going to be one of those games. And, I feel like we're going to be there. We're going to definitely have that physicality out.
It's a big one. If you can go out and find a way to knock off the reigning district champ and to come out of it with another win, and your kids, that kind of momentum could catapult you guys into a deep playoff run.
We're number one. We got to take care of the ball. Their defense is opportunistic. They're very multiple and fast, and we've got to take care of the football.
Man, that's special. I think the average giving up somewhere around 9 points a game, same as last year. I mean, Stu Johnson, the defensive coordinator over there, has done a great job. They got great DBs in that secondary, and if you end up one-dimensional, it's going to be a long evening for you.
I mean, there's people that wrote us off last year, and now the same people are talking good about us. So we didn't listen to them then, and we're really not listening to them now. But we know we have a good football team, but we know we have to go in and go to work each and every day to give ourselves a chance on Friday.
Kyle talks about that D1 talent. How about Coppell? They got a 6'4" wide receiver, Barron Tipton, who is committed to the University of North Texas.
Yes, he is. Oh man, if you thought I was going to sneak that one in. Yeah, you thought I was going to sneak it in. You're right. I was going to sneak it in. He's leading the team in receptions, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. They've been targeting him quite a bit. I really like this Coppell bunch as a whole. Edward Griffin, their quarterback's been throwing it around. 58 of 77 passing. That's 75% completion for all those math wizards out there. 765 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception, and all of this in very tight games. 10 points or less up until they took down Plano West last week, 55-7. The previous 3 games were all within single digits and all within 2 scores. So for the most part, they've been battle-tested, but I don't know if they've been tested quite like they will against Lewisville.
Let's talk about the Lewisville quarterback. Let's get to know him a little bit here, as he has set a record already. All-time wins at Lewisville, 26, breaking the old mark set by state championship winning quarterback Chad Nelson some 30 years ago playing for Ronnie Gage. Let's hear from Ethan Terrell.
It's been amazing since I touched down at Durham Middle School. Coming up from middle school, the feeder for here. So, you know, I balled out in middle school, did a lot of great things coming up from 6th grade to 8th grade year. I always dreamed of, you know, being that guy and being put in that role of being a leader over here and, you know, just being that guy on and off the field. At the end of the day, you know, I just want to go out there and win games for my teammates and bring back to his community. So, you know, Coach Odo always tells us, take it day by day, take it week by week, and just win the day. It was extremely special, you know, hearing my name on the announcer and, you know, the much support that I got from everybody. So, you know, it was really beautiful. It was a special moment for me. So, you know, it would not only win the game, but also, you know, being supported like that. We're just a special group. We've all grown up together since freshman year, and we're good buddies. We all hang out with each other outside of football and school. So, you know, it's just real special for us, and we want to bring a state championship. You know, just the culture there and, you know, the history I have there with my family. So it just runs deep there. And, you know, the coaches and the staff, they're amazing there. The fans, they're very supportive. So, you know, I love me some Jackson State. You know, I bleed blue, so I love. Yes, sir.
The Jackson State commit, not the only guy on that team who's going to play on Saturdays in the future.
Yeah, but he is the steady hand. You can really hear it in his voice, even talking about this matchup and talking about the honors. He has been the leader of that bunch for quite some time, and Terrell has done a phenomenal job of taking care of the football, just the one interception this year, and then 60% completion. I really like what they've done from an offense because it used to be a very run-heavy attack going with Ellison on the ground and just pounding the rock like that. They've really opened things up with Terrell, let him throw it around, and because of that, outside of that really tight loss to Highland Park earlier in the season, they've outscored their opponents 120-14. They haven't left any doubt, and he's a big part of that.
So there it is, Whataburger Game of the Week. It's Lewisville playing at Coppell. Game number 2 on the slate we want to feature. How about Jason Witten's Liberty Christian team going up? They're unbeaten on the year. They're headed back here to Frisco. Jason's coming back to Frisco to take on Legacy Christian. First off, let's hear from Legacy Christian first-year head coach Doug Hicks talking about matching wits with Witten's team.
The message is the same every week. To beat teams that you should beat and to beat teams that you probably have no business beating, it just still comes down to the same thing, executing your fundamentals in a very fast and physical way. I feel like it's our opportunity to step up and now say, okay, fellas, you guys have been putting in a lot of work. Let's go out there and play fast and physical football and see what happens. Coach Witten has done just an amazing job over there, and his kids over there play remarkable football. They play it the right way. They play it super fast. They play it physical, and they're fundamentally sound. So I'm not surprised at all that he is being successful there with his passion and his drive and his discipline to turn that program around. And now, frankly, probably be the best team in the state. So we're excited about the matchup to get our opportunity to compete at a very high level.
Doug Hicks, an accomplished quarterback trainer through the years, now at Legacy Christian, turning around that program. And how about what Jason has done at Liberty Christian?
Well, I think this is a battle of the two new players in TAPS because Legacy Christian hasn't always been a power. Neither was Liberty Christian. They've had some talent come out of there. Nick Starkle a couple years ago who played with Texas A&M and a couple other schools along the way. They've always had players that have just squeaked through, but now you have the team aspect on both sides. And I think it's a credit to both coaching staffs. Legacy Christian 5-0. Where did they really come from? But they're putting up some massive numbers. They lost this game 38-0 last year to Jason Witten's bunch, but they've already avenged 3 losses on their campaign a year ago, turning things around steadily. Liberty Christian, on the other hand, they've turned things around these last 2 years. Of course, Jason Witten was the TAPS Coach of the Year last year. He's putting in a nice repeat campaign as well with the way that they've started 4-0. I really like the way that Cole Welliver at quarterback's been playing, 71% completion, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he's doing it to everyone on that roster. 2 or more touchdowns to 4 of his 5 receivers that have a reception this season. So spreading it around, Jason Witten showing off some of that creativity, getting his quarterback involved.
I think Cole Welliver might be taller than the head coach. He's 6'6". He is a UConn commit. And oh, by the way, there's a junior linebacker named C.J. Trey Witten, and there's a freshman named Cooper Witten that are turning heads as well.
Interesting. They've got a lineage, I think. They've got the bloodlines, right?
Yeah. Speaking of a lineage, how about the program at Highland Park, game number 3, and the program at Dallas Jesuit College Prep? They're going to meet at SMU this Friday night. It's Randy Allen's Highland Park Scots against Brandon Hickman's Jesuit Rangers.
Oh, this is always such a fun matchup in District 7 6A, which, by the way, is wide open because Lake Highlands lost to Richardson Berkner last week. Lake Highlands defeated both of these teams. So District 7 6A, very much so on the docket. I'll start with Jesuit. I mean, this is a team that comes in at 3-2. Charlie Peters leads the DFW 6A area with 1,500 passing yards, 17 touchdowns. But it is boom or bust quite often for Peters. He has the 6 interceptions. They're coming off of a 52-13 win against Irving their last time out. And then on the other side for the Scotties, of course, these two schools just combined 5 miles apart. The Scotties for Highland Park coming off a bye week came at a good time because they did suffer that loss to Lake Highlands. They are also a team that relies on that quarterback play. I really like what Warren Peck has done coming into his own, starting to find the footing with Randy Allen and company. 6 passing touchdowns, but he has 10 on the ground. Just find a way to get in the end zone. That's what Peck has done, and that's what HP has done for really a century.
Well, and I love the fact they're in the same district, and so we can get this rivalry going between Highland Park and Jesuit. Just getting started on this edition of Friday Night Stars. Coming up, it's the showdowns at the Star this week.
This segment was brought to you by Whataburger. What's better than Whataburger? How about more Whataburger? Download the Whataburger app and start earning points toward free food with Whataburger Rewards.
Time for this week's showdowns at the Star. On Thursday night, we've got Liberty taking on Lone Star. And the Friday night showdown at the Star will be called by our very own Kyle Youmans. It's Lebanon Trail against Frisco Heritage High School. As we welcome you back here to Friday Night Stars, Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans. And in this segment every week, we take a look at Frisco ISD schools. And how about in the spotlight this week? It is the Frisco Liberty Redhawks.
Year's different. And so the guys just have to learn that they don't get the right checks on the previous year's account, and so they've just got to invest not just in scheme and things like that, but more than that, their brothers and playing for them and playing for their school. And so when we buy into that, ultimately everything comes together and where it's supposed to be.
Our brother is amazing. Like this year, I feel like it's a lot of us more. It's a little seniors, but it's a lot of us juniors and sophomores, and I feel like we all have connected more. Like since the season, since strength conditioning, actually.
All it's really required is doing your job with great effort, and once the guys buy into this and grow up and mature both physically and mentally, then we'll get where we need to be.
We're trying to get more players on this team, cause like more people didn't play this year, but we're trying to get them back. Because we used to play with them last year.
We have Caleb Cooper, who's a junior, running back, returning for us. Got some time last year as a backup, but he's, the first 2 games he's rushed for over 100 yards and has really become our go-to guy. And then our signal caller, Jacob Nickel, has done a great job of really maturing over the summer and has done a great job leading us on the field from the quarterback spot.
I'm not really worried about my stats right now. I'm trying to do everything I can for the team, for me and the team that can help us get to a W, touchdowns, anything.
Matt Swinney, the head coach at Frisco Liberty, in his 10th year at the school. He was an assistant coach who was promoted to the head coach in 2019. They went 10-2 just a couple of years ago, but getting the numbers out and getting guys to come out and play football has been a challenge here the last year or so.
Yeah, and it's part of the growth in Frisco ISD. Now they're up to 12 schools. They added 2 more last year, so at times it'll hit each program along the way. That's why whenever you do have programs like Lone Star, Wakeland, Reedy that can withstand that challenge or have withstood that challenge to a certain amount of time, it really is impressive to see what they're able to do. Liberty's currently in a downturn. They'll turn things right back around once the schools continue to fill up and you get to really turn those numbers back into wins and success like Swinney has shown he could do it.
Yeah, which Swinney did his first 3 years that he was there at Liberty High School. Coming up next here on Friday Night Stars, we take a trip to Melissa. Oh, do they ever have some nice new digs in Melissa? We'll show you that next.
This segment is brought to you by Whataburger. If you're a Whataburger shake fan, I have 2 words for you: banana pudding. That's right, the Whataburger Banana Pudding Shake is back on the menu, but only for a limited time.
Friday Night Stars continues now. Bill Jones along with Kyle Youmans. And look at this. Coach Kenny Deal Stadium in Melissa. We're talking, Kyle, $35 million Kenny Deal Stadium.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Had the chance to drive up to Melissa, get a look at the new digs. Of course, didn't get the behind-the-scenes tour or anything. That's still to come from the Cardinals, but it is absolutely phenomenal. It looks like a Division I style facility, both indoors and outdoors. It is incredible.
Let's hear what they're talking about in Melissa about their new digs.
For me, the stadium, it really honored a great person. If anyone knows who Coach Kenny Deal is and his family and what they represent to Melissa, then you would understand how important it was for the community. It was a huge honor to celebrate him and whatnot. Obviously, I'm biased. I think the stadium's the best around, and they probably did a great job of not allowing me to be a part of it. Seth Stinton, our AD, is unbelievable at those things. I am not. You know, they said, hey, Coach Nally, we're going to build a stadium. What do you think? I'd said, just, you know, plant some grass and, you know, we'll get some lawn chairs out there. It'll be fine.
You see the size of those players running on the field there, Melissa? No wonder they're one of the top teams in Class 5A in the state.
Unbelievable. I mean, what they've already done this year, avenging the 2 losses they had before a legitimate run toward a state championship. They fell in the regional final last year to South Oak Cliff, but they lost to Argyle early in the year. They lost to China Spring, who, of course, was an official state champion as well. And they've already avenged both of those, 50-14 against Argyle, 63-33 against China Spring. And you talked about the size. Nigel Smith, Oklahoma commit, 6'5", 260, playing next to Jackson Ford, who's committed to Oregon, 6'5", 230. So, yeah, good luck at that level trying to slow down the Melissa Cardinals. They are legitimate.
I can't wait to go out. I think I'll go watch the Melissa Lovejoy game later in the season. All right, when we come back here on Friday Night Stars, another rivalry game. It's the Battle of the Red Rail in Grapevine.
Friday Night Stars, presented by Whataburger. The buttery, flaky Whataburger jalapeno cheddar biscuit that you know and love is back. If you don't know it, well, it's here for a limited time only at participating locations, served 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
How's this for a rivalry game at Mustang Panthers Stadium in Grapevine? It's Colleyville Heritage against the Grapevine Mustangs, 2 first-year head coaches at their respective schools.
Yeah, but they know the legacy of this rivalry, the Battle of the Red Rail, and it always means more when these 2 teams get together. Grapevine with their first win in this rivalry last year. Since before that, it was 2018, the last time they came out on top. Grapevine is 1-3, but don't let that record fool you. Those 3 losses were against Wakeland, deep playoff team, Azle, deep playoff team, and Argyle, one of the best teams in that division. They are really battle-tested going into this. I expect a close matchup.
Yep, and Colleyville coming off a 62-0 win last week. First-year head coach Jerry Edwards, who had some success at Harker Heights High School in Killeen. The Battle of the Red Rail. You know, I did a story on that once upon a time. It has something to do with the railroad track that runs down Highway 26 there. What we call the Grapevine Highway. If you're in Grapevine, it's the Colleyville Highway if you live in Colleyville. And so that is one of the rivalry games. How about a Mound showdown. Other games to watch this weekend. Flower Mound at Flower Mound Marcus heading the list there.
Yeah, I love that one as well. I mean, it's always a fun one. Flower Mound Marcus has been dominant, but Flower Mound starts finding a way right around the middle parts of the season every year to pull off some big wins late. And then I'll be on the call for that final one there. Wilmer Hutchins at Frisco Panther Creek, across the street at Kirkendall Stadium. I talked to the Wilmer Hutchins head coach today. He said this is by far the biggest test for that 5-0 Eagles bunch. It's going to be a fun one as well.
You know what? It's also going to be a fun one on Sunday when the Cowboys take on the New England Patriots, and it's a homecoming game.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott and the New England Patriots. What will the Cowboys do there? You know what? Let's talk about homecoming. How about in Allen? Jerry needs to learn from Allen here. This is how you do a homecoming pep rally. See you next week on Friday Night Stars.